going to be working on some stuff today. Rolling right in with the music. So, today's goals. Today's goals are pretty straightforward. Hey, Digital Drummer. Have you watched my stream since I decided to bring my favorite instrument here to hang out with me on stream? I brought that in here. My other instruments over here hiding out too. So eventually, those will be viewable. But yeah, so today's stream is going to be, we're going to get an Astra DB running, which of course we'll have with the GraphQL server API access, which kind of comes as default. We're going to introduce everyone to cattle decapitation by force, because you're listening to it. Then, let's see here, what after that? Oh yeah, we're going to get some GraphQL queries running. Probably with Postman and GraphQL. And then, forgot to put my microphone on here. All right, there we go. So the cool thing, Angular and .NET. Okay, cool. Have you used Blazor any? I've been tempted to fiddle with it, but I'm hesitant because I don't really know what Microsoft's doing with it. I'm just draw a little scratching my head, leave me scratching my head. But I know C#. I know C# really well, so I feel like maybe I should give it a go. But also I'm not sure what that's going to give me. I just have to try it out. That's what I have to do. Is I just have to try it out. All right, so cool thing here. Get me a free database started. I'm going to select free tier, US East 1. I'm going to go with my running theme of better bots again. I feel like I've done this about 8 million times now. Oops, I done messed up that one. Oh, I messed up both of them. There we go. So I'm launch that database. Now the cool thing about Astra databases is now when they launch, since it's in GA, a REST service and a GraphQL service springs up at the same time for your database, so you have REST and GraphQL access to your database, which is pretty badass, really. Gives you a lot more options on connectivity beyond just the drivers, because right now the drivers are Python, C#, Java, something, Node.js. Gotta have Node.js, right? And then something else, forget. I think like C++ driver, something like that. Anyway, DataStax has a number of drivers, and we have support for Astra with all those drivers. But if you're in some of the other languages, like let's say Go, or I don't know, Erlang, you might just want to use the GraphQL or the REST services instead of trying to connect via the driver. Just for whatever reason, you don't have driver support, or you don't want to hack through the security bundle to figure out what things are or whatever. It's just a little easier sometimes to use the REST or the GraphQL interface. And in the connection details, that's always available right here. You just double click that, like I can open up another browser window and do a get against the REST endpoint, and boom, I get that. It says it's alive. And I can see my cluster ID here and my region, US East 1, etc., etc. Same thing with the GraphQL, except I don't think it posts a message. I should know this. I mean, yeah, so it just tells you no access yet. But therein lies the next part of this. So let's say we want to access this. Duh, right? So the database is there and running. We could see it. Yahoo. So let's go. Let's see. I don't have Postman running. So launch Postman. This is one of the easiest ways to get started here. So let's just create a new one of these. I'm going to change it to a post. I'm going to put in my URL. Let me get the REST one. Boom. And then I'm going to add the version and then auth. Now, so far this is going to say nope, nope, no access, whatever, unable to parse payload, of course. So I need to add the headers and the body specifically. So let's go to raw, and then we're just going to add some JSON that says username, whatever, and then password, whatever. So I'm going to go with better bot, and then better bot. And there's still a few things I need to add, which I'm going to grab this because I already have this built up. Put it into this one. And the header information here, whoops, the body is formatted correctly too. So raw, what did I actually do wrong with that one? That looks the same. That is the same. Raw. That's super weird. So, oh, JSON, not raw. Text, JSON, there we go. So then send that. There we go. So there's the auth token. In the header, you can add, accept content type, blah, 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 whatever, and you're good to go. So that's how you get an auth token. And the TTL on it expires if it's not used after about 30 minutes. So if you're using it, it'll stay active. If it's not used for 30 minutes, you'll need to retrieve a new one at the initiation of your next session. So it's an important factor to note. So with that though, I can take that and go back into here. And let's see here. We'll put that in my token. Look at my body. What do I got going on here? Nothing. There's GraphQL. Then let's change that to GraphQL. There we go. Oh, whoops, I need this. And then the GraphQL endpoint is just going to be API GraphQL. Send that request. And it should come back as, yep, blah, 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 nothing, but we know it worked. Or we know it authenticated at this point. So now I'm going to launch GraphQL. I'm going to take this, go out to headers. Oh, when I fix this up, it might, phooey. So when I take that and put that in here new, there we go. So that should work. So there's no products, I don't believe right now. I didn't do anything, right? Yeah, so cannot query field products of type query. It's because it doesn't exist. So let's see about I'm going to go out to the docs, astra.readme.io. Is that, no, that's not gonna show where that's at. Trying to think, so I want to do a mutation. So I'm finding that real quick. In one of my browsers. So bear with me here, bear with me. I'm finding some stuff. Oh, where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Ah, there it is. Ah, so there's another option to talk about. There is an open sourced GraphQL server, which is the core of our GraphQL server on Astra. It has a bunch of characteristics and stuff for you to run against your own Cassandra database, Apache Cassandra database, or DataStax Enterprise database. Of course, the catch is you have to run it. You have to run the whole database. You have to run the web service for this thing, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so there's some Docker stuff, and you go back over here, and the thing that I'm after is the docs. And there's going to be some more docs that we're going to have real soon. And it'll be more elaborate than even this. And this just shows some of the things that you can do. Like let's see if we can create these tables. We're going to do a mutation. I'm just going to copy them. You can't create a key space in Astra. So that's one thing to note, because you only have the singular key space initially. But let me run that, and yeah, we can't create tables right now. You can only add data. So that note, what's the easiest way to create tables? Well, actually, you know what the easiest way to create tables is then? Going in here to the CQL console. No, actually, not even that. I'm going to launch Developer Studio because it gives you autocomplete and stuff. All right, logged into that. So now we can actually execute some create queries. That will get us some tables built. Let's see here. Create initial data model. All right, the first one is going to be create table if not exists. Let's call it products, okay? Whoops. There we go. We're going to go with, let's create an ID, UID. Oops. And then name, call it text. We'll go ahead and make this the primary key because we don't want duplicate products. Then description, text, price, decimal, then created. It's going to be a timestamp. I think that'll be good for that. Then let's create another table called if not exists. Call this orders. Again, have another ID. Then we'll go with address. That's going to be text. Then product ID, which will map back to, as a foreign key, to the primary key of the products, so you know which product it is. But we're also going to have the product name, a little denormalized data here. So that's the product name, description, it's going to be text, and price, decimal, again, a little denormalized data, then sell price, which will be decimal, and then customer name, which will be text. And let's see here, customer name, let's go with this, customer email, text. We're going to make this the primary key. Okay. Now let's create another table called create table if not exists. And I want to make one to be, oh, how did it? Yeah. So let's see, if not exists, orders, and then, oh yeah, shipped. Oops. Shipped. So that's going to be ID, then ship. Well, let's do this. Let's do order ID, right? To relate it back to the orders table of data, so we can know that. We'll go with prod name again. Again, denormalized data is not a big problem because this is a distributed database. You need to do some stuff like that. Let's do price, decimal, and then do sold price. And then, oh, we got sell price and that up there. So let's actually not do that. Let's just do product name. We don't need a description. Oh, we need quantity. And we'll go with int, I think. And then, oh yeah, customer. Right, we'll do address, text. Then do customer name, text. Customer email, text. It's your shipper, text, ship, date, date. What else do we need? I think that's, yeah, that should work. That should work for this particular situation. That'll give us the ability to have products, orders of products, and then when the product or when the order is actually shipped, we got to put it into the shipped table. What else do we want to do here? It seems like there ought to be another item. And why is this fussing? Oh, we don't have a primary key, so let's do. Well, just for creation, I'm probably gonna, let's see, CQ. What I want to do is I'm gonna actually create a composite key, right? So CQL composite key. Oh, let's do this. Let's do DataStax CQL primary key. So the way you define a basic key is you usually just use primary key like this when you're declaring this. But what we want to do is primary key and then put it in parentheses because we're going to have multiple. Okay, so let's go back to this and then do primary key is going to be, let's see here, ship, oops, not shipper, customer name and ship date. And then, yeah, let's do this. Let's do name. That's probably, well, that'd be the best. So the inner parens are a cluster key. All three of these are composite primary key. So customer name is ship date, product name. So I think that will work best for this particular one. I'll go into another time some specifics about why you might want to set up a key like this. But that should work for now. Let's run that and get ourselves those three tables. Brutal, 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 brutal. Love it. Hey, using GraphQL and drinking out of a Facebook mug. Look at that. There's some like weird colloquialism of some sort there waiting to happen. All right, so now that we got that stuff, no data returned. Of course not, because it's just the tables. We can click here over on schema, we can see what we got in these puppies. So there's our orders, there's the columns, columns, columns. Okay, so this can be useful. This can be very useful to just like have as a place to go look back as a reference to determine what we have in our database really quick, without having to go and like do queries or introspection or anything like that. We can just look here and we know immediately what we have, what the data types are, what the table names are, everything, boom, one view. So very nice to be able to have access to the Studio app. From here though, let's actually get back into it. Don't need this anymore. And we're gonna start looking at some GraphQL stuff now, for real, instead of just kind of looking at it. Sorting out some of this other stuff that I'm keeping track of. So here we'd have, let's see, so I can do a query now. And, oh yeah, that'll let's do this. It'll update in a few seconds. There's always a few seconds between things before we get the updated tables that we just created. Oh look, orders. There's products. I just scrolled by it super fast. Products, so I know that's in there. And then dooba-dooba-dooba-doo. Other stuff. There's products. Yep. And then whatever it did, shipped, right? Shipped. Anyway, it's hard to look at that way. Maybe. So I have a description. Let's do kind. Does that say pertinent stuff? So because like name, orders. That's not what I want. Products. So I wonder if I can do like object. Can I do that? How do you do equate? Oh, I should do. No. Blah, whatever. Anyway, that gives us those things, but also let's dig a little deeper. So there's description, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to know is, oh, see, that's pretty cool. Tells you more about what these things are. But what I really want to know is, like, okay, products is a table. I know that because I just built the table structure, which you saw me build. But the question is how can I pick out that as a table? See, these things are enums. This is an object, but this is not a table. Orders mutation result, not a table. So, but this is clearly a table here. We know that. Type to product, right? So we know it's a type because we asked for types. Oh yeah, let's see what else we got here. Query type, mutation type, subscription type, directives. So query, let's look at that and see what we got. Query. Subtype query. Oh, so nothing? Kind. Interfaces maybe? No. Whatever. Anyway, so let's do a query on what we got? We got orders, right? And then we're going to do values. See, it's still not realizing the table is there. It doesn't have the autocomplete for it. So we got orders, and then let's do, what is it? We'll do prod name for product name, and then we'll get the price, and then description, and then the customer name and customer email. I believe that should get it back for us. Well, we know orders is there because a minute ago we did type. Let's look at this. No. Name of type string. Key space empty query. Well, I just did types, and it was clearly there. Orders, and then there's products too. So let's try to do products. Oh, let me get rid of this actually. This might be messing me up. Well, screw with that in a minute. We want to do query. Then I'm just going to do schema again, and I'll show you what I'm getting to here. Query type, and then name. That should give us a functioning query, yep. And then I go over to Postman, and go to body, click on GraphQL, paste that in, and then send it against the GraphQL endpoint, and we get the respective query result. So the cool thing here is in Postman, you can click on code and then check out all sorts of stuff like the curl request. So here's some Go native stuff. So let's actually grab this. Or no, I said I was going to do JavaScript, so maybe look at Node native. Yeah, let's look at this. The IDE is launching on the other screen as it does. There we go. So let's create a new program. Let's hear Astra, Node.js examples. So Bootstrap? Nah. Let's go do Node.js. What am I on? 12, 13, 1. Nah, that's fine, right? Shouldn't be a problem. So let's do that. Graph database support. Whoa, that's cool. For Neo4j. Ah, nice. Ah, so it created a file format, package.json file. That's cool. So let's do this. Let's do an MIT license. Me, I'm the author. Keywords, Node.js, Astra, DataStax, database, Apache, Cassandra, database as a service, GraphQL, REST. No, that's correct. No test specified. Description: a sample application that runs various example queries against a sample DataStax Astra database. And the and the respective services that are available with said database. Add Astra sampler. Oh, do I need a... Yep, it definitely wanted those in quotes. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. Okay. We're all set there, and now what is it fussing about? Oh, too many quotes. Fixed it. Okay. So now, what does this run? I don't run. Oh, look, a GraphQL tab. Sweet. Let's see here. Can I like create a... I'll have to look at that later. But let's see, terminal is where I want to go. Oh, why is it white? Oh, I don't think I have my ID restart and activate plugins. Yeah, let's do that. Craziness. My plugins aren't working. This is some crazy shit. And open on the wrong damn window again. Okay, there we go. What? It didn't name my project right. So untitled add Astra sampler. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. Of course, now I need to go open it again. So let's go open that. What? No. Cancel. Too fast on my double click. Codes, add Astra sampler. There we go. Plugin update install. Let's do this window. There we go. And then let's get some stuff going on here. So go with index.js. Is that the one that says, yeah, index.js? And I'm going to paste all that stuff in. And let's see if this will run. Let's execute JavaScript debug. Is that what I want to run? I just want to run this, I think. Yeah, run index. Working directory JavaScript file. Let's pick that. There we go. Okay. And then while I'm at it, I'm gonna bounce into this. And then brain food. What is brain food? Oh, that looks cute. What do I want to listen to? What do we listen to? Let's listen to. Or is it haunted? Maybe something like that. Oh no, I'm gonna listen to some Orbit Culture. It's another band that I'm loving these days. All right, so follow redirects. Let's see if. Okay. Oh, again, and then let's create that. There we go. Oh, and I need a. Let's add a get ignore file. There we go. For Node.js. And we'll go ahead and add that to the. No, I guess that's what it just did. So, oh, and let's the other two things. .ds store file to keep that silly pesky thing out of there, and then let's do the .idai directory. Okay, that's set. The get ignore is set. This is set, and it should run. Looks like we got the result. So that is all hunky-dory. So what I want to do now is actually let's try out a. Oh, this is my query. Let's try out a mutation. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. It still doesn't seem to have my. Maybe if I do this, bounce out here, get a new token. So you just send in my username and passwords. It's a new token. So maybe that'll do something. Ah, there we go. Okay, so now it's updated. I don't know how to get GraphQL to update without reconnecting like that. Doing something to reconnect. Like I get there's probably another way to do that besides making a new token. Like I shouldn't have to actually make a new token, but that's where we're at. So there's of course nothing in products. So I want to create a mutation though, which is going to let me put stuff in. There we go. Insort orders, products. Oh, what? Oh. I wonder why my shipped table isn't there. Update orders. Let's do insert products. And then here we're going to have this. Let's see here. What does my mutation need to look like? Yeah. So we got insert books, and then we're going to have, we actually need to have values or value. So that's like a function call, you can think of it as. So here, and then all the bits. And this would be, actually I don't know if I don't think I need that. I think I just need this. So then, yeah, there we go. Okay, so, whoops. Open brace. Here we go. So now we have ID, which is going to be this. Then name. It's going to be this. Then description. Created. And what is this? Must have a selection of subfields. We have subfields. We just entered them all. Oh yeah, I need to do that probably, and then there we go. So that basically is mapping the values to the GraphQL subfields from what I can understand, or from what I understand, not what I can understand. I'm sure there's more to understand, but that's what I know of at the moment. So then let's see here. All right. So IDE, let's go out to La La Land here and get a UUID. I always use UUID generator.net. It's like a quick one to just go grab a UUID, add that, and let's go with high process CPU head unit. And then high processor CPU head, CPU head unit. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and then this will be 99.99. And created, I don't know about created. We'll fiddle with created in a minute. See if I can just get it installed this way. Or inserted, I should say. Boom, run, and boom. That looks good, okay. All right, so let's get that out of here. And that's a good mutation. So I know what a mutation needs to look like. So let's see if we can, oh, I didn't actually want to get rid of that UUID thing yet. So I want to create another one. And let's do this. New ID here. And then let's do armor head unit helmet. High velocity protection for your robot CPU head unit. Let's say this is 39.95. Right? So that's our mutation. That's what I want to execute, but I want to execute it via code. So let's take that. Then I'm going to go in here to this one, put in the GraphQL. Then let's take out the new lines. All right, this is going to take a second. Description. Then this should make it fit into a single line a little better somehow. I just want to see what it looks like at least. There we go. All right, so in the code, query looks like that. Okay, so let's actually take this whole bit. And we're going to replace this part. There we go. So query here, variables here. And whoops, no, I didn't replace that right. Let's copy this whole section. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. I don't know. What's all this fussing about? Well, find out in a minute if it doesn't run right. Actually, let's take the whole thing. It's still flipping out. Let's run it. Oh, mutation. So it needs to have this probably. Right? Oh joy. So it did it. So this is using just a request option. Let's try to put that into code and see if that'll. Yeah, so there's just the query. And then let's do one, we'll call it what should we call it? New mutation. Oh, I need a mutation, the thing. So let's do npm install mutation. No, wait, not mutation, request. Right, and then node mutation. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so that ran. Okay. And then index should still run, right? Yeah. And then let's create one and call it query mutation. So GraphQL, so products, right? So let's do products. Let's query products. And then values. And we'll go with name, description, and then price. Yeah, that should be nice, right? Yep, there we go. 3 values there. Or the two values, I mean, with the 3 properties. Boom. Yep, okay, so let's do this again. Oops. Just check it one more time. Looks good. Let's see, what is this uni-rest? Yeah, let's try uni-rest. So at that, npm install uni-rest. And then node, run the query mutation file. And what do we get? Hey, it looks good. So there's our 2 records. Tested query techniques. All right, so let's take a look, see what do we got out there in the universe for GraphQL stuff and such. Let's see here, Node.js, GraphQL libraries. So there's of course this, GraphQL.js. And I know there is, let's hear Apollo, GraphQL client. It's your server libraries. This is, yeah. All right, there's some other options. Let's go with this one. That's for the whole server. I don't really want to do this. I just want to, wait, no, so there's the query schema. Build schema, root, hello world. Oh, interesting. So that's like the server and the client running there. That's pretty trippy. Okay, I'm going to come back to that. So GraphQL is. So let's do that. Whoops. What else did we do? We also did npm install, need to do save on uni-rest. And then request, npm install, save on request. Oops. And index is follow redirects. npm install, save, follow redirects. So that added it in the package.json file now, so we should have all these dependencies listed out in a way that's readable. Holy crap. Well, yeah, anyway, so Node.js world, there's uni-rest, just went by it. But anyway, there's a million things listed now, blah, blah, blah. So those things are there. All right, so let's try another file. GraphQL, what was it? Oh, just whoops. Shoot, new JavaScript file, GraphQL library, JS. There we go, okay. So we did that, then to build a GraphQL type schema which maps to your code base. schema which maps to your code base. Okay, this defines a simple schema from one type, one field that resolves to a fixed value. This is all I want to do then, right? Oh, I want to do this. And then I think that's it, yeah. All right, so GraphQL this is my GraphQL right here. So let's, well, I didn't know what I wanted to do. What I want is that query. There we go. And it looks like these things aren't even needed. Okay. Just do that. Then, so GraphQL and then schema. What is this saying? Oh. Do I need that? Phooey. Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, here's an awesome list. That's cool. Oh, this is what I was looking at. Yeah. Okay. So do I have to? Oh, it's built with that. Interesting. All right, so back to this thing. This is going to become weird. So, GraphQL schema, query, new GraphQL object type name, root. Let's call it products. I don't like that library very much. What happens if I don't know? I guess I have to know what the schema is. Fiddle with that one later. Let's see about this one. So if we go with this one, so there's the URI. Query, fetch policy, error policy, maintain. And then, yeah, I'm gonna come back to this one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with what I was doing there. This doesn't particularly make sense. The other ones are mindlessly simple. Yeah, okay. Cool. Well, let's get a repo path for that. What? Is that not how it is? So, what? Open source goes. I didn't clone it, did I? Why the heck does that show up here? Oh, mofo. Okay, so anyway, I did that. Let's create a new repository. Astra sampler. Sample use of Astra GraphQL and well, just GraphQL so far services. Okay, so that's gonna go in here, but the first thing I want to do is, okay, that one I'm getting rid of because that doesn't really work. But this one, I guess I should set some environment variables for this stuff. I feel like host name goes here, right? Mutation. Actually, I should say a API. API there. And then, oops, running into shit again. Token here. Token goes here. And token goes here. Okay, I like these better because as we saw back here when I executed some of those, it just spits back the results as an object and we can just work with the object. We don't have to map out any schema or do anything like that, so it's pretty straightforward. All right, with that, I am bailing out. Thanks for all who did join today. If you're still around, I will catch you next time. Everybody have a good one. Cheerio. I wish it was Friday. Boom.